Hello everyone. In this presentation, we are going to see the introduction of the programming language Java. So we start our presentation with the features of Java, the history of Java, the naming conventions of Java, and the architecture of Java, and how a program has been developed and executed in a Java environment, and how it differs from C++ and Java, and then which is followed by a simple example of a program, our hello world program, and how the programming structure should be with some basics. And the second part of the presentation is with the installation of Java. Java though it is an open source, now it is shared by the company called Oracle. So we have to download and download and install the versions of Java, which includes Java JDK, SC, Java virtual machine. So all such stuffs and how to install Java in the machine. That's a little bit of tutorial. We will be hands-on tutorial that will be attached with the PPT also presentation also, which is followed by the most important part of the presentation, the path and environment variables. So to make Java to be successfully executed on a machine, it is very important to set the path and the Java environmental variables and how it could be uh, set with an example too. And that follows the execution of a program in two ways. There are two ways of execution of a program. One is by using the normal notepad, and which is the conventional way, and another one is inside an IDE like Eclipse, NetBeans, IntelliJ. In this presentation, throughout the presentation, we are going to use IntelliJ from JetBrains. So Java is a very interesting language. In fact, from its evolution, it it folds many interesting topics into it. See, do you believe it? It it the language is about 25 years old. You might have heard that in IT industry, the technology today is outdated for tomorrow, and tomorrow's technology will be outdated for the day next day. So in this constantly rapidly evolving situation, circumstances, or era, one language stood over 25 years and still it is the largest number of people who have been using the language. This is a language who stood over such a long legacy. It is not a joke, and because it constantly evolves right from 1995 to 2020. It evolves many of it features, and now today we people, if you have electricity and electric appliances, you have Java in your home. So uh, Java is created by a crew of members actually, and first Java is the most part of Java has been created and implemented by James Gosling in 1995 and in the late 1995 to 1996. It was first named as Oak because uh, outside of their lab there is a green oak tree opposite to their lab. So they named it as Oak Tree. But while it comes to trademark, there is another company called Oak Technologies already had copyrighted the name, so they used to change it. See, there is another interesting fact in naming Java as Java, because while they are about to distribute the package, they came to know that Oak is no more. You cannot use Oak because it is a copyrighted name. So they have to immediately find the name. Since James Gosling loves coffee like a hell, at that time a brand flavor of coffee came from Indonesia, an island of Indonesia called Java. So he used to name the new technology as Java. Until today, the Java persists. So this is how the name, how a little history of short history of Java. and how they could name it as Java. Uh, this is a very famous storyboard over the years that actually the people would have in modern day IT techies would have still believed that Java is created by a single person called James Gosling. In even many of your textbooks, misinterpreted that information. And I take this opportunity to tell you all people that Java programming language was actually developed by a crew of 5 members: James Gosling, Patrick Norton, Chris Roth, Mike Scredden, and Ed Frank. And these 5 people would work it as a team and bring the language in 18 months. See, they took 18 months to finish and process and to release the distribution as Java package in 1990, late 1995 to 1996. And actually, the crew has suggested different names for it: Dynamic, Revolutionary, Silk, DNA, like that. But James Gosling believed that no, we will name it uniquely. So no other language uh, would have ever thought of that. So on an instant of 2 or 3 minutes of discussion makes Java as the name of the brand. And you can take a look at the pictures. Uh, Actually, it takes for me 2 to 3 hours to search for it. It's very important. It is a very interesting storyboard. Actually, you can take a look on it. So yes, here is a brief history of Java. Uh, it all starts from 1995. The first beta version of Java was developed by Sun Microsystems, and it was as in, but it was published the next year, 23rd January 1996. Since beta version is not a stable version, at that time of distributing it firstly, not many people have been interested in it, because while you're writing a program, the platform must be stable. So initially it was rejected by many of the people. But from the inception of Java in 1996 as Java 1, it's all the rest of the features are history. From that 1996 to till today, it has included too many features into it. See, in 1997 only, the inner classes like inline classes in Java means JDBC, which means database connectivity, which is a very important part of Java, and it is the main reason of why Java had become commercialization, because a database can be connected to Java from Java 1.1 only. Then after that, it becomes in Java 1.2, it includes Swing, JIT compiler, and many other Java features we are using today. So you just wanted to take a look at the slide. Actually, since I wanted to make it as short as possible, you can you could just pause the video and you just look at yourself. Um, and an important thing I wish to note it: after 2006, 11 December 2006, Java 6 has been um, released by Sun Microsystem. It the Java has been acquired by a technical giant called Oracle. It weighs in 2009, April 20th. Actually, it was happened in April 20th. That will be discussed in the later part. By this moment of time, you just look into the slide and get known to the uh, key differences among the versions, how Java has been built, the storyline of Java actually. And after the inception of the acquisition of Java by Oracle, Oracle started to roll out more stable versions than ever before, and it includes very important features within in the forthcoming versions. In 2014, it includes functional interfaces and lambda expressions as Java 8, which is the most famous uh, or most important features which have been used across the industry by the time even till today. And in Java 9 2017, the Java has been started to evolve itself so that it fits in the networking applications. So it includes packages like HTTP to client and reactive shells and shells like that. And after that, in the next year, March 2018, Java 10 version have been released. In that, an important variable type local has been introduced as an inference, which is a very much, it plays a very important role in writing bigger projects, and which is followed by Java 11 in 2018 and 2012 in 2019 by Java 13, and finally in 17 March 2020 Java 14 has been released by Oracle. And we are going to implement that JDK throughout our tutorial. And there will be a parts of hands-on training, hands-on video onto which how to download and install JDK 14 onto your system. That will be the second later part of that will be the later part of the presentation. You'll be finding it later. In April 20, after the announcement has came from Oracle that it acquires Java from Sun Microsystem for almost 13 billions of US dollars. That that was the biggest acquisition in two aspects. One is the more money involved. Second is the technological impact across the industries that already have been employed in Java, already have projects in Java. Why it creates such an impact is, before the acquisition, Sun Microsystem has freely shared the distribution under open source license. After the acquisition, Oracle Oracle also distributed it as a freeware but not under an open source. So what does it mean is, before the acquisition of Java, that is the native Java from Sun Microsystem, you can create your own compiler. You can write your own flavor of compiler and can distribute it under your name. It is legal. It is 100% legal. And one such flavor is Google's Android that we have been that has been a part of our life today. After the acquisition of the Java, Oracle doesn't deem it as open source, which means we cannot write our own flavors from then. Okay, then another aspect is that by making a software as an open source, anyone can contribute to it. You can write a feature that can read a signal and produces another signal. If it is a new feature, yes, you can share your code and it comes as an update in an OpenJDK. Similarly, now and then n number of updates have been arriving it. So if you want the update, you can update it so frequently, it evolving it itself to the requirements or to the needs or to the current industrial standards. But there is a big problem in it. They are not stable. In order to write a software using a language or a platform, the platform must be stable enough until it has to run, because after the completion of the software, it has to run on the platform over a period of 8 months. If the platform has been continuously changing, how can you write a software on it? So that becomes a problem. That becomes a big problem, in fact. So Oracle decided not to release the beta versions. So all the releases of Oracle are stable versions, and that they have at least an years of gap. So recently, September 2020, we have Java 14. Obviously, 13 is the last year, 2019. So at least 1 year we have been using a stable version. And another aspect is that no one will ensure the stability of Java whether it is under an open license, but here Oracle will ensure the stability of the platform and the products made out of it, even after the series of updates. So That's a pretty good news. And Java has become more robust in these ways. This is a very important understanding of Java. See, by looking at the side, hardware is at the lowest level onto which an operating system has been placed, onto which the Java has been installed, which means in C and C++, let us remind the compilation process of C and C++. What will we do? We write a program, we compile it, and we run it. After the compilation, the .c or .c++ program will be converted into machine level language, that is the low level language for the hardware. So we straightly run our program in the hardware itself. In case of Java, the Java does not run on any hardware. Instead, the Java installs a virtual machine called JVM, that is Java Virtual Machine, over the operating system. So whenever I'm writing a program in Java, my Java compiler compiles it and converted it into a class file. A class file is of bytecodes. So bytecodes is the lowest level that a JVM can understand. So if I want to write a program in my computer and I give it to someone else, I will give it as a class file. So in the another computer also, if you install Java, there is also a JVM. So now there is no need to alter any single byte of the program, any single byte of the bytecode. The bytecode itself straight away runs as we have already written, with no modification. So platform, in this case, platform refers to operating system as well as the hardware. So Java is a platform independent language, which means once you written a Java program, it can be run on any machine irrespective of any operating system, because the Java program runs only on Java virtual machine. In fact, an instance of Java virtual machine. So it doesn't care about the underlying machine architectures. So these are the features of Java, of which we have at the moment of time, we have been discussing few features of Java. Uh, as the lecture progresses, we will discuss briefly on all the other features. What are they? Okay, we started from object oriented, and Java is mainly a pure object oriented language. If a language has to be said as pure object oriented language, there must be a class inside a program to run it. So if you want to run a program in Java, you must write a class. Without writing a class, you cannot compile and run a Java program. That is simple. Unlike in C++, C++ also comes under object oriented programming only. But there is a significant difference between C++ and Java. There is a possibility you can write a C++ program straight away using the using its syntaxes without writing a class, and you can execute it at, at, at ease. There is no problem in executing a C++ program without a class. It accepts it and the compiler and executes it. But the story is little bit different for Java. So you, even though the execution starts from the main function, even the main function has to be written inside a class. So that is very very important. In this occasion, I'm telling you another important aspect you must note. If you are compiling your Java program in conventional way, the file name and your main class in which the main function is residing should be the same. For example, if you are writing a main function inside a class Java program, you must save the file, you must save the program as java program.java. If you save it with different name, it will not compile and execute it. So it is very very important to note. And another thing is platform independent, we have already discussed. Since all the Java has been compiled as bytecodes that runs on the Java virtual machine only, it is platform independent. It doesn't care about the operating system in which it is created. It doesn't care about the underlying hardwares, whether it is in AMD or Intel or whatever the hardwares. It doesn't care about it. Until unless your machine has JVM to run it, it will run fine. Then it is portable. Yes, it is portable. You can transfer the same bytecode to any machines. If the device has JRE, which means Java runtime environment, the bytecode will works fine. So there is no problem at all. And it is interpreted. Even though we call it as Java compiler and Java compiler, it actually does interpret. It interprets the Java code. So we are using Java interpreter, not Java compiler. And uh, another thing is it is bit dynamic, which means since the main method itself we write return inside a class. So in order to execute the function, in order to execute the program, you must create a class object to the class. You can create any number of objects of any types. So there is no restriction of writing classes inside a Java function. So it accepts n number of classes. Only one restriction is that your file name and the class in which the main function resides should be the same. That's enough. So the other features and all we will be discussing in the future lectures. In Java, Java doesn't use compiler, though we call it as a compiler. It is an interpreter. Java always uses an interpreter, and Java does not run on the actual machine on actual RAM. Instead, it builds its own platform called Java Virtual Machine over over the machine. On that layer only, all your programs have been running. So we have to install such platform over the machine on which a Java program can run. So here in the slide you see all the Java program has been typed with the text editor and which is saved as .java. The extension of a Java program is .java, as in C++ is .c and C++ as in .c++. We are using .java to mention it is a Java program, and that Java program has been read by the Java compiler, and that produces an intermediate file called class file, and which is also called as bytecode of the program. And that bytecode is the one that runs on the Java virtual machine. It is not our Java program running on the Java virtual machine. It is the bytecode, which is an equivalent format of the program we have written in .java and which is compiled by the Java compiler and is running on the Java machine. And this is the process how a Java program has been developed and run. This slide explains about how a source code in Java has been compiled and interpreted and executed in the Java runtime environment. Okay. The first step is writing the source code using a text editor or an IDE. IDE means integrated development environment. Okay. In the both the methods we are going to execute in further lectures. Okay. In any cases, let's say a program has been the source code has been written, and the name of the source code is xxx.java. It should be noted that the first letter of the file name x is capital X. So whenever you write a file name, the first letter should be the capital letter. You must note it. Okay. Second, this xxx.java has been compiled by Java compiler. Look at carefully the syntax behind how to compile the Java program. It is javac file name dot java. In the command prompt, after setting the path and all, if you want to compile your Java program, you must navigate to the folder where the file is actually locating. For example, in the desktop you are writing, you have saved the Java file. For example, xxx.java itself saved in desktop means the first step you have to do is you have to navigate to the desktop folder, and then you give javac the file name .java, which means we are calling Java compiler and to compile xxx.java. So that is what it means. And after the compilation, the Java compiler gives us Java bytecode xxx.class. Look at the extension .java has been converted into .class. So after the compilation, after the successful compilation, there is another file has been created which is called the bytecode of the same name. If your program name is xx.java, the class will be produced in the same name, xx.class. If your program is try.java, and the class will be produced is try.class. Okay. After the final part is this bytecode has been executed in Java runtime environment. And how to run the Java program? How to run the Java program in command prompt? By the command java space the file name. You should not use .java here. If you are using .java, you are prompting the JVM to run the Java file, which is not possible because JVM knows only bytecodes, it knows only .class files. So if you wanted to execute a program after compilation, you must give java space file name. That's it. You should not give .java .class. Okay. In the JDK, where how to install JVM, the native libraries and all the supported header files and all, every packages have been packed as JDK, Java Development Kit, and that too SE Standard Edition. So you wanted to download the recent JSE JDK under JSE, and you have to install in your machine, which means yes, JVM has been installed over operating system, so it is ready to run any Java program after that. So if you are running if you execute a Java program, all the input and output has been displayed over within the Java virtual machine only, so you should be noted that. Okay, and now look at an example. This is the first source code developed, is going to be executed. The source code is we are writing a class welcome. Inside a class there is a main function, and inside the main function there is only one line, system.out.println welcome to Java. So for the simplicity, you must you consider now system.out.println as a printf or a cout. How that works, it is used to print something on the screen, and public static void main is our void main. Okay, so in the further lectures we will detailedly explain what is public, what is static void main, why, what is a string args and all. We'll be discussing it later. As of that, you just consider it as a source code or your program. Okay, I already told you that in the last slide. If the file name and the class name should be the same. Which class? The class in which the main function resides. Here there is only one class, welcome. So what should be the file name? The file name should be welcome.java, and the W is capital because you see here the class in which the main function resides, the name of the class, the first letter of the name of the class is always capital letter. So that is why I insisted in the previous slide, whenever you are prompted to save your Java file, you must use first letter capital. So that is the reason. Okay, here you see after the successful return of the source code, then the second is that we are going to compile. We have already seen that how to compile it, java c welcome.java. Okay, if there is no error, if there is no error, then automatically it will produce what? Bytecode, and is saved on the disk where the actual file has been there. If for our last example, it is stored in the desktop. So the bytecode also stored in the desktop with .class extension. In this case, what is the what is the file name? Welcome.class. Okay. If there exists an compiler error, we have to modify it, and then again we have to compile it. So that is why if the compilation error occurs, the flow goes to write again the modifying the source code, because we have to debug the code, isn't it? Debugging the code and again compiling it. So okay, after the bytecode has been generated, we have to run the bytecode. Where to run the bytecode? In the same console. If you use Java and the class name, yes, Java, here the class name is welcome. So Java welcome, which means it runs. The result would be welcome to Java, which is inside the double quotes of system.out.println. If there is a runtime error occurs, the result will not be produced and it automatically comes out of the console screen. So that we have already known it. So far we have discussed about what is Java, the history of Java, and the features of Java, and how a Java program has been developed and executed behind the Java compiler. What are the things that are actually happening in executing a Java, and how to compile and executing a Java in command line. And we have discussed about an example also, how a program has been developed as a source code and how it moves towards a compilation, and how, what is the intermediate format and how it runs on JVM, how to compile it, and the entire life cycle of a program has been discussed about so far. And the rest of the part of the program of the presentation is with the installation of Java. So I purposefully separated it into two parts. One is how to download the respective uh, uh, JDK appropriate for your machine, and from where to download it. So I believe myself, all everyone as the beginner with no prior knowledge, and I'm starting it from the scratch so that anyone can learn how to install Java and what are the features. So all the presentations so far and will be following also with the same perspective. The people who have no prior knowledge on any programming languages. With that aspect in mind, the following will be a tutorial, an online hands-on recording of how to download it, and which is followed by the path and environment variable setting, how to set the path and environment variable, and that ends the first session. So here we are going to download the official Java from the website. So the first step is to Google with Java download, and you will be given, there were two links, you know. The first link is www.java.com download, which is an open source download. You should not go with that. And the next link is www.oracle.com, which is the official uh, Java distributor. So you can go with that. After you click with Java SC downloads and Oracle technology, and you will be directed to a landing page that shows all the Java packages that were listed, and you can see the Java SC downloads. The Java SC means Java Standard Edition platform. You should go for that. And the recent version is Java SC 14, the stable version of the Java JDKs. So you click the Java download under the Oracle JDK. Then you will be directed to this page, Java SC Kit 14 downloads, where you can select the Java development kit for your machine appropriately, for Linux, Mac OS, for Windows. There are two installers. You should select JDK 14 Windows x64 bin.exe. Then after clicking this, you will be given your download will be started. So here we are. So this is the first step to set path of your environment variable so that our Java compiler can compile Java programs in our machine. So the first step is, in the search tab you type for environment, and you will be prompted a window like this slide, and in that you select edit the system environment variables, which is present in the control panel. If you are using Windows 7 or even lesser than Windows XP something versions like that, you can go and search in control panel like system environment variables. You go and search like that. After you search like that, this window will be opened, called system properties. In the system properties, you have to select advanced. In the advanced, you have to go to the down, way down. There will be a tab called button called environment variables. You must click that, which is in the blue shade in the slide. You must click in the environment variables. So after clicking the environment variables, the windows will be open like in the slide. In that, There are two types of variables: user variables for admins in the left topmost, and the system variables in the left corner. In that, you have to find where is path. There is I marked it as 1. Then you have to click edit, which is marked as 2. After clicking that, you will be given all those links where you don't find a path for Java, so you have to click new. In that new, you have to paste the location, the exact location where your bin folder has been located. Usually it is find in the c slash program files dot x86 slash java slash bin, which is like that, which is java home like that and all. So you see, I'm using that percentage symbol. Instead of percentage symbol, you must use the exact location, which you can be copied from the address bar. And you can see here the bin folder is here. So this is the path you must be copied onto the system path. So I'm copying it here and then going to the search and typing environment. I see it already came, so I use that. We edit the system environment variables and opening it, and in that I'm checking it is advanced and environment variables. There are two types of variables: user variables and system variables. I must select system variables. Here it is path and edit. Yeah, here are the edit variables, so I must add new, and then you can paste here like this, and you can give OK. And this is the final part of setting environment variables. And here you must give a new, and in the new you must type the variable name as caps java underscore home, and then for the variable value you can paste the same path, but you have to delete only bin here. So the last three things, the last thing path we have copied, isn't it the same way, but you must delete the bin and the backslash. So that will be the only difference. And if you give OK, all done, and your machine is all set to execute Java programs. And all the best for your installation.